and has participated in Free Networking International and revenue-generating activities, networking groups, before developing her own approach, Connections at Park Station, a network group that meets on the second and fourth Fridays of every month at Park Station in Pinellas Park. So let's give a warm ABWA welcome to Billie Noakes.
This is such a wonderful invitation that Bobby extended to me. As soon as she called, the first thing I thought of were those years ago interviews with the Beacon and with Vision Cable, and it just feels like coming full circle to be here tonight. So I really appreciate this invitation, and thank you for coming out to hear me. One of the things that I really remember most about those early days of ABWA is what this group was accomplishing on behalf of women in our community. You were the first group that I remember hearing about that provided a support organization for women in business. And not only for women already in business, you mentored women who were coming into the workforce or returning after they'd been away for so long. And what you were actually doing was networking. You were one of the earliest networking groups in Pinellas County. And I think it's interesting to know that we come to it so naturally, because networking really is nothing more than finding the people in your circle of friends and acquaintances who can help you get things done, whether it's personally or professionally. Whether you're trying to put together the carpool for the kids, or you're trying to put together a business meeting for the office. You're always relying on the people that you know and trust and can count on to help you get things done. Like so many other things, though, networking has evolved over the years. Not so much the why, but the how. We still network because we want to accomplish things, but the way we can get them accomplished now is so different from what it used to be. One of the things that I've always enjoyed is getting involved with a Chamber of Commerce. It's probably one of the longest standing approaches to networking that there is. A lot of business people coming together for a shared purpose, to exchange their business cards, exchange their skills, their knowledge, and find ways of making things happen not only for their own businesses, but for their communities. If you get known as a doer in your Chamber of Commerce, someone who can be counted on when they need things, then you're going to find that people will come to you when they need things done for themselves, things that can be revenue producing for you. And that's one of the great benefits of networking. Even though you're out there trying to help other people, you can't help but help yourself at the same time. Another great opportunity is the special interest group, exactly like what we're doing here tonight with ABWA. People with a shared purpose, a shared goal, come together and get things accomplished. It's not always the purpose of a group like this to increase your business, but it's to increase your ability to function within the business community. And these are a great way to network if you're looking for additional career opportunities. If someone comes to ABWA and mentions, gosh, now I happen to have skills in this area, it's very likely that someone else in the group is going to say, oh, you need to talk to this person, because I think they were looking for someone who has your skills. The other way that we network is with something called a leads group, and you've probably all heard of these. You pay sometimes a couple $100s a year, and you're invited to come to the meetings on a regular basis and help find business for others in the group, with the idea that you're also going to have people looking out on your behalf, trying to find business for you. And the fourth way that I often hear about now is something that is getting a little bit more attention lately. The idea of relationship networking or abundance networking, where it doesn't look inward so much to people who all have a shared vision as it looks outward to find people to bring together and give them an opportunity to learn more about what's in their community so they can make the connections that they need and find new ways of working together. Now, one of the things that you want to do no matter how you prefer to network, whether you join your Chamber of Commerce or you become part of a networking group or you participate in a special interest organization or one of these relationship networking groups. One of the first things you want to do is make sure that you have business cards printed up, because your business card is going to be the way people will find you when they're looking through their wallets. They'll remember that they've met you at a meeting. Always hand out a business card if you can, even if you're at a family gathering. Imagine being at a family picnic and Aunt Essie needs a recipe. You pull out your business card, write the recipe, hand it to your aunt. She goes home and she has tea with her friends. And one of her friends says, you know, I was looking for somebody to help me out with setting up a blog. I don't know how to do that. And your aunt can say, oh, look, my niece knows that. Here's her card. And you've just gotten a little bit of extra advertising simply because you're related to the right person at the right time. Now, in addition to having those business cards, you need to make sure that the business card is working for you, not against you. If you know that your purpose is to hand out that business card so people will make notes on it, take it home, don't fill both sides of your business card with a bunch of information. If you want to make sure that people know everything that you do, and you don't want them writing on your card and taking notes, then you do want to use those two-sided cards. Keep in mind, too, if people are going to be writing on your business card, you don't want it to be a really slick surface, because the ink is just going to rub right off the first time they slide it into their wallet. So when you're thinking about the effective ways that you can use these calling cards, make sure that you're taking into consideration what you want to happen with them. Every networking meeting that you go to is very likely going to give you an opportunity to present a 30-second commercial. It's your introduction, your brief 30 seconds in the limelight, and it goes something like this. How many of you know that you ought to blog, but you just can't find the time to do it, even to support your business? Who needs to write a press release, but absolutely hates to write? Or, if you don't mind writing, you just aren't sure how to put the press release together. From Facebook profiles to press releases, blogs, brochures, even books, I'm the wordy gal who can get it done for you. I'm Billie Noakes, and I want to be your writer, and I can start today. That took less than 30 seconds, but people are going to remember that I said that. And one of the things that I missed doing and should have done was, at the same time, I should have held up my business card, so you could have noticed what my business card looked like. And then when you look at that, you'll remember again that I was the person who stood up and said those words. I want to be your writer. Once you have the business cards printed and you have your introduction written, rehearsed, and ready to roll, it's time to select a networking meeting. Now, this is a great networking meeting. Other opportunities exist all over Pinellas County, however, and they exist morning, noon, and night. They exist for people who are interested in particular kinds of businesses. Some of them are leads groups. Some of them are these relationship networks. You need to try and visit several of them. You don't want to just stick with one and say, oh, this is what networking is. The first couple of networking meetings that I went to, I didn't feel comfortable. I felt like I was outnumbered. I felt like I was unwelcome. I felt like I was unknown and just uninteresting to everybody else who was there. You need to visit a couple of groups, find the ones that give you a feeling of welcome and a sense of belonging, and that should be your home group. Go visit several others throughout the month, because you always want to be extending your network as far as you can. You don't want to see the same 15 or 30 or 40 people every single week. But you do want to find a group where you can grow a little bit, meet their relationships, and find ways of extending yourself. When you go to these groups, don't be shy. Walk up to people and start a conversation. If that's difficult, position yourself someplace where you know people are going to gather. If there's a refreshments table, set yourself over there and just stand and chat to the people that come up and refill their water glasses. If there's an information table, stand there and notice what else is going on that table, what kinds of businesses are represented. Strike up conversations with people who are there. And even though you may be approaching networking as a way to promote your own business and to extend your network and find people who might want to hire you, the way that you probably will have better luck is by asking questions about what other people are there for. What are their business goals? What are their particular areas of interest and their skills? Because remember way back when we were dating and mom or dad would say, well, if you really want people to be interested in you, you need to be interested in them first. And if you do that, they will remember you and like you. It's no different with networking. Everybody likes to think that you find them to be so fascinating that you are willing to sit and ask them questions about themselves and their businesses and learn more about them. And it's amazing. You try something like that, and after a few minutes, people realize, oh, it's a little unbalanced here. Let me ask about you. And then you'll have the opportunity to share your information. If you attend a networking group that has an activity as part of its membership, as part of its meeting, go ahead and participate, even if you don't feel like you're entirely in your own element. You want to get out there and let people know that you're willing to take a few risks in order to get to know them too. And remember to smile. Everybody likes to think that you're just so thrilled to be there with them. And even if this isn't somebody that you would normally select as your best friend, it's nice to think that you've made them feel comfortable and welcomed, and who knows, that may be the one person who has the contact that you really need. And to miss an opportunity like that just because you're not sure that this is the relationship that you want right now, big mistake. You need to get out there and maximize your contact time with people, and you'll be surprised. Even the people that you are a little uncomfortable with at first probably just need a little bit of questioning before they warm up and actually can become a friend. When the meeting is over, there's a tendency you take all those business cards that you've collected, you go home, you put them in a drawer. Don't do that. Sit down, grab a pen, and on the backs of those business cards, write down the things that you remember about each of the people that you met. Because the next time you meet them, you'll be able to have a conversation now because you remember something about them. And also use those cards to set up some appointments. Make a phone call, schedule a one-on-one lunch or just a cup of coffee. You don't need to be accomplishing business, but by having these one-on-one meetings, you're starting to know a little bit more about people, and you're starting to learn what it is that they're interested in. So when it's time to make connections in your network, you have the information that you need. And when you're having those one-on-ones, try to make sure that you're asking a few more questions than you're answering. Make sure that you're going